Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We have yet more Alpha 3.24 updates. We've got a good indicator as well of what the Sabre Raven variant is now. There is some new subflare and ships of the month, and we have a quick summary of the things that came out at the Bar Citizen in Shenzhen from the devs there. So let's start with the Alpha 3.24 updates and patch notes. So there are a couple of EVOCATI patches that went out. The patch is still in its EVOCATI phase, although Cloud Imperium are trying to push it towards first wave PTU ASAP, which could potentially be for the weekend. We'll have to wait and see. It is going to be dependent on if they can solve the instability problems, because the latest patch, yes, it is significantly more stable, or at least it's a bit more stable, but the instability, the 30Ks, the server crashes are still there. Yeah, that's what's holding it back from a wider PTU release. So there are dozens of bug and crash fixes in these patches, but the July 1st patch had some master modes atmospheric flight controller retuning. So they made slight retunings for the atmospheric flight of a load of different ships, including the Valkyrie Raft Spirit series, the Mercury Star Runner, the Ares, the Herculeses, the Buccaneer Caterpillar Starfarer, as well as the Cutlasses. There's been a soft death breaching polish, so they've set the default breach amount for exterior doors to 100% when you've been soft deathed. They've fixed up the Cutlass, Freelancer and Constellation breach amounts. They've added mission item filters to freight elevator management, and they've reduced the Asperia Prowler's emissions to make it more in line with a stealth dropship. Then we've got the 2nd of July patch, which went further for those flight controller retunings, and then made additional aerodynamic updates to the Eclipse, Gladius, Hammerhead, Reclaimer, Redeemer, and Avenger Stalker to enable these ships to yaw more when they are in atmosphere. The ship cockpit has had a camera polish, so third-person cameras have been updated with smoother vibration, along with the same effect changes applied to a cockpit to reduce HUD movement. There are still a load of known issues that Cloud Imperium are trying to work through, including that instability issue, but things like personal hangars not opening when you want them to, AI and NPC spawning issues, problems with players having too many items or trying to spawn too many items. That sort of stuff needs to be solved before they get to live at the very least, but they're going to want to try and get those ones done probably before they push to wider PTU. We're going to have to wait and see whether they can get this out for the weekend and what their priorities are. The Sabre Raven variant. So this has been teased a little bit over the last few days. Yeah, there's some form of new Sabre Raven / Firebird variant. And as I was reminded by Inforunners on when I streamed yesterday, it's probably a QED one. It's probably a quantum interdiction, quantum staring one, something like that, because John Crew had apparently said that there was one in the works, and there's certainly been one rumoured. Now, I can't find my notes on that. I do vaguely remember that being the case, so not 100% confirmed for a sort of quantum interdictor, quantum enforcement one, but does sort of make sense. I do think it's going to be quite interceptory, and I do think it's going to potentially have that snare or dampener on it, and I still like the name Raptor for it. I know obviously that's the April Fools for the Street Sweeper, but I think the name fits, and it's green as well. As I said, not 100%, but I think that is much more of an indicator of actually what it is. But I'm interested to know what you think, and what else will it be sort of focused on. Is it going to be a single-seater QED, a quantum interdictor ship? Or do you think it's actually going to have some more roles than that? I think you can certainly dual role that into an interceptor for sure, but we'll have to wait and see. There's been some new Pyro themed subflare for RSI subscribers. So for this month of July, there is a knife that you can get for Centurions. There's a graffiti Corsair skin that Emperators get. They also get the knife. And in the RSI subscriber store, there's a graffiti skin for the Vulture. The Vulture is the ship of the month for subscribers, and the Corsair is the additional ship of the month for Emperators. Remember, anything that's sort of released as a sub-item. It's typically going to be available in-game in the loot pool in some way. Not sure if that's true of ship skins, at least at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. So the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the Shenzhen Bar Citizen. Now, there were some bits that were coming out from here that some backers posted on Reddit and on Spectrum and chat and all that sort of stuff. So I just want to summarize some of the stuff that I've seen so far. Take it as rumor at the moment, because I can't go, oh, this was 100% said by a dev, because there's no, I haven't seen any video of it, but it's relatively likely that this is the case, that was at least said at the Bar Citizen. So CIG are looking to expand out into China, at least more. There's going to be localization for that for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. There will be fishing in-game, but not in the short term. It's going to be in the future. You can't have an MMO without fishing. 4.0, Alpha 4.0 will have more creatures in it. We're thinking sort of space cows, that sort of stuff, but obviously they've shown off the star whales, and we know that they're going to have the cypherpods, and we know that there's going to be Ranta and some other things in the game. There is going to be a lot to unlock as well with the reputation system in Pyro. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is coming with 4.0, but they talked about epic armor and epic weapons that you'll be able to find and get access to, and you'll be able to sort of make contacts and that sort of stuff based on your reputation to get access to special items and weapons. There's a gunsmith in Pyro that makes powerful FPS weapons and tweak stuff, and that requires some unlocking and some risk and actually finding the gunsmith, but it's going to be worth your while to do so. They even said that potentially with those sort of contacts, you'd be able to buy that stuff and then sell it, and obviously that would be good because they'll be harder to get those items. Now, something that was quite interesting here as well is they said there would be full ecosystems for predators and herbivores for the 1.0 release. So the commercial 1.0 release of Star Citizen, they are planning to have full ecosystems, whatever that means. But as I discussed with Zin, I think this is probably just going to be, well, predators eat herbivores, and there's going to be watering holes and other areas where there are food, and they'll sort of react to those things, and there'll probably be a level of day and night cycle. It's probably going to be pretty simple ecosystems. It'll be interesting to see if that makes 1.0 release. I suppose it would, that sort of stuff. Every ship apparently will be updated and receive a gold standard pass by or for 1.0. We do know that gold standard effectively just means the up-to-date standards for stuff, but all ships will need a big pass after they put engineering in to get them into the correct state, and obviously then building master modes and updating and balancing combat and load of other stuff, so that just makes sense. Starter ships should be getting a load more updates and improvements as well, so things like your Mustang, things like your Aurora, they need a little bit of love. The Polaris, the grey box review for that is apparently happening this week. There is a dedicated torpedo station, so the pilot doesn't have control over the torpedoes, which is an interesting one there, but it makes sense. It's supposed to be a capital corvette torpedo fighter, but we also know that they are going to be upgrading its turrets somewhat, so it's not just a torpedo corvette. It is going to have some relatively powerful ordnance other than that. The Nautilus and the Banner Merchantman are not currently in production. I know that's going to sadden some people. I'm expecting to see the Banner Merchantman in-game potentially by the end of 2025. I think they're going to finish the RSI set of ships, and then they'll sort of have quite a lot of people that can work on ships by then, and then they'll split off some teams, some of them doing the Banner Merchantman, and some of them working on other projects and expanding out things like getting the Kraken in game and that sort of jazz. But I'm really interested to know what you think of those tidbits coming out of that Bar Citizen. Are you expecting, full ecosystems for predators and herbivores? When do you think actually 1.0 is going to be released? Do you think that could be turning up early 2026? Do you think it's many years out? What do you think about that Sabre variant? Do you think it's actually going to be a quantum interdiction one, a quantum dampener, or snare? And are you playing in the 3.24 EVOCATI builds? What have you been thinking of those? Are you waiting for it to go to wider PTU? When do you think 3.24 is going to be live? Do you think they're be able to get it out to live before the end of July? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And I think we have a new NordVPN ad for you now. I'm a futuristic cyborg sent back in time for one purpose. Give me your boots, your jacket, and your nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Get NordVPN if you want to live. on the internet. It's the only thing that will protect you against Skynet and my Terminator impression. It gives you greater accessibility, security, and privacy on the internet as well. You should use the links below. Every month, we have a ship giveaway. For July, we're giving away a Constellation Taurus. This workhorse allows you to do some solid cargo running, as well as some combat and room for a small crew. It's just a great all-round mission runner and awesome ship to experience Star Citizen with. This comes with access to the game and lifetime insurance as well. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during July. Each video is another chance to win. More details in the description below. Please consider supporting the channel with the join button under my videos or via Patreon, links below to all of that. It goes a long way in helping us to be able to make daily Star Citizen content and Zin's lore videos, all that sort of jazz. Thank you so much to all the glorious members that already do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can always help as well by sharing, liking, subscribing, and getting involved in the comments section. And thank you very much for those of you that watched to the end. It is appreciated.